Hello, faithful viewer! Today I finally decided to do the Doctor Who tag. It's about time! This video is a sort of self-introduction to the fandom, so it's really long overdue, but I hope you will enjoy it. If you have seen some of my reactions or reviews, vlogs, maybe you'd like to know more about my history with Doctor Who, what are my favorite aspects of the show, so I hope you will enjoy this video. Also, I would really love to read your answers to the Doctor Who tag questions, so please write all your answers below in the comments. I will read the questions, but you also find them in the description. And also, please give this video a big thumbs up if you want to hear more of my opinions on Doctor Who. Let's get into it. The first question is, who's your favorite Doctor? This is a particularly difficult question to answer, not only because I really love all the Doctors, they're all special in their own way, but this is particularly difficult for me because I've had a favorite Doctor for a long time and then it changed. If you've watched any of my videos, especially my 12th Doctor tribute video, you will know that my favorite Doctor is the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. I really love his character and his evolution throughout the show. I really love his positive message of kindness, but I also can really relate to his grumpiness. He's the Doctor I relate to the most, and that's why I feel really close to him. My second favorite Doctor is the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and he's been my favorite for a long time before Peter arrived. He's a completely different character. There are really different attitudes and behaviors. I really admire about the 10th Doctor. His energy is really the kind of person that I would like to meet. Maybe he's the Doctor I'd really like to travel with the most, while the 12th Doctor is the person I really feel closer to my personality. The 12th Doctor has really taught me a lot. I really look up to him. He's a great role model for me, and his stories are the ones that have moved me the most, so yeah, he's my favorite Doctor. The second question is, what's your favorite Doctor Who story or episode? There are obviously way too many stories I like. For instance, Human Nature and the Family of Blood is my favorite two-parter in the 10th Doctor era. A Christmas Carol is my favorite 11th Doctor story. Heaven Sent and Hell Bent are my favorite 12th Doctor episodes. But if I have to pick only one episode, it has to be the 15th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor. That episode is really so special to me, not just for the story itself and the plot and the characters, it was all brilliantly done, but because it was a great celebration of the entire show. And I have particularly fond memories related to that episodes because I went to London to the Doctor Who celebration. That was the first time I met Jenna Coleman in person, and I had her autograph and a photo with her. And then I went to see the 15th anniversary special at the cinema with a close friend of mine, and there was just so many Whovians there. The energy was amazing. The entire audience was cheering and clapping every time something major happened on screen. So it was just an amazing experience that goes beyond the story itself, and that's why it's my favorite episode. Third question is, who's your favorite companion? Again, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you will already know that Jenna Coleman, Clara Oswald is my favorite companion. I love how bossy she can be and how she always tries to control the Doctor. I'm a control freak as well, so I can really relate to that aspect of her character. But I really also like the reckless side of her personality, and I find her really funny and clever. She's really witty and quick. I think her chemistry with the 12th Doctor is perfect. For me, they're the best Tardis team ever, and they've grown so much together. I mean, just witnessing their journey in the show was fantastic. That was a really exciting period in the series for me. I of course love all the other companions as well. Before Clara, I really liked Rose, again because she was just a normal girl wanting to do more with her life and having this desire to travel and see the universe. Also the Ponds were amazing. Now I'm really liking the new companions, Ryan and Yaz, but Clara will always be special for me because she started as a normal person wanting to be special, and in the end she became like another version of the Doctor, and that was the only conclusion for her story for me. That was the perfect ending. I loved how kind she was and how she thought the 12th Doctor to be a better person. She was rational, but she also had a big heart, and she was really brave. The way she faced the Raven really broke my heart, and I hope she will appear in the show again, because she's basically immortal and she's traveling the universe, so she could appear again in the show. Seeing her meet the 13th Doctor would be so interesting, especially since we know that Clara is not really straight and she's had this sort of romantic thing going on with the Doctor. It would be really interesting to see how she approaches the 13th Doctor now that she's a woman. The fourth question is, what was the first Doctor Who story or episode you ever watched? This might seem strange, but the first episode I watched was The Voyage of the Damned. It was back in 2011, and the Italian television was airing the Christmas episodes again, and I just turned on the television and catch that episode by chance. I didn't have the chance to see it before, because before it was on pay TV, and when I watched The Voyage of the Damned properly for the first time, I was like shocked. That show was like nothing else I've ever seen before, and I was like, okay, what is this character, what is this universe and this story? I really have to watch it now properly. And in that moment I decided to watch Doctor Who properly, seriously, from beginning to end. It was really a moment that changed my life. That was the day that Doctor Who ruined my life forever. No, I'm kidding. It really changed my life for the better. A few weeks later, I bought the DVDs and I watched them, and I fell in love with the 9th Doctor too, and with Rose, and then I bought the series 2 and 3 DVDs, and I just couldn't stop watching. It's really become an important part of my life, even though I haven't been watching it from the very beginning, and I didn't watch it while I was growing up, but I met the Doctor in my late teenage years, and this show really had a big impact on my life and shaped my personality. And it all started with The Voyage of the Damned and Torchwood, because I've seen most of Torchwood before I've watched Doctor Who. For the same reason, there were Torchwood reruns on television, and I just turned it on, didn't know anything about Doctor Who, that it was its spin-off. I just watched it and loved the character and the stories, and then decided to discover more about it. And in just a few weeks, Torchwood and Doctor Who were my favorite shows, and I think they will always be a huge part of my life. Question 5. What is your favorite series or era? My favorite series is Series 9 with the 12th Doctor and Clara, again because I really liked them as a team, but also because of the format of the series. I really love two-part episodes because they really allow the story to be explored more and better, and I found all the stories in that series amazing and special. Particularly the finale, Hellbent, is one of my top 5 favorite episodes, even though I know this is a really unpopular opinion. But if I have to choose a favorite era, I think my favorite era is still the Russell T Davies years. Probably just because that was the first time I was seeing the show. Those have been the first series I've seen, and they're obviously really fond memories for me. But also because I think the Russell T Davies era was particularly magical. You felt really close to the character, like you were part of the family, especially Rose Tyler's family, and I think that magical atmosphere really defined that time of the show. Question 6. What is your favorite pre or post regeneration story? My favorite regeneration story is The End of Time, because it was really the end of an era, and it was a great emotional way to say goodbye to the 10th Doctor. His regeneration destroyed me. To this day, watching his regeneration breaks my heart, because he was really human in his last moments. We had Time Lords and Gallifrey in that episode, which was a big deal at the time, and it was just this final trip with the 10th Doctor. I don't think anyone was really ready to let him go. His brave but still human way to face his regeneration was really iconic and new, and it's still one of the saddest but most beautiful scenes in the series. If we are just considering the regeneration scene itself, then my favorite regeneration is the 12th Doctor's regeneration. His last speech was really inspiring. It's my favorite speech in the whole series. But also his last words to Bill and Nado were really terribly moving as well. And I'm really trying to live by the 12th Doctor's last words. Laugh hard, run fast, be kind. That's my favorite regeneration scene. But the episode itself, Twice Upon a Time, was a bit weaker than The End of Time, for instance. So it's my second favorite regeneration story, even though I really loved it, but episodes like The End of Time have been more epic, just bigger scale than Twice Upon a Time. I also really loved the 11th Doctor regeneration speech about change, but I prefer when it's more emotional, like the 10th or the 12th Doctor, and he doesn't want to change, he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to become someone else because he already likes who he is. Those are my favorite stories. Question 7. What is your favorite Tardis desktop theme? This might be an unexpected answer, but my favorite Tardis is the 11th Doctor's Tardis in the second part of Series 7, the blue one basically. I really love the blue light, it feels so high-tech, it really looks like an high-tech laboratory. Obviously I'm very fond of the 9th and 10th Doctor's Tardis, and I obviously like the organic feel to it, but in the end I prefer the Tardis when it looks more simple, clean and high-tech, like the Tardis with the blue interior in the 11th Doctor's era. Question 8. What's your favorite villain or monster? This is going to be a really banal answer, but my favorite monsters are the Daleks. I really cannot think of a more iconic monster. I really love their design. It looks so alien. There are no other monsters that look like them on television. I mean, if I have to choose between Daleks and Cybermen, I will always choose the Daleks, because the Cybermen in the end look like more traditional robots, while the Daleks really look like something you've never seen before, something that is not of this earth. And I really love the story about their creation and how angry they are, their hate and prejudice towards everything that is not Dalek. It's a really powerful story to tell, especially in these days. The Daleks are just something else. Every episode with them immediately feels special and important. The Daleks are just my favorite monsters among the classic monsters, but the new one as well. Again, the Cybermen don't really feel very intimidating. The only Cybermen I like are the Mondasian Cybermen. They are really spooky, I have to admit. The Weeping Angels are very overrated, in my opinion. The Zygons are classic monsters that I really like. The Ice Warriors are a bit meh. Centaurans are a bit ridiculous. The Silents are modern monsters that I really loved at first. Their design is terrific, and their power to make people forget they exist as soon as they turn their head is a genius idea. Unfortunately, Moffat had to completely destroy them, introducing all the backstory of the church. If the Silents had remained simply as an alien race and not this mysterious and overly complicated organization, then they would have been terrific monsters. Daleks are still the most solid monster, and I think the Doctor would consider them their worst enemy as well. Anyway, that was the last question. I hope you liked this video and listening to my consideration on the show. Do you agree with my opinions or not? Let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to write your answers to these tag questions down below in the comments. I'm really curious to read them all. I never do this type of chatty videos where I just sit in front of the camera and talk, because I don't think that anyone cares about my opinions. But if you enjoy this type of videos, please give this video a like and subscribe so I know, and I will make more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and you will see me very soon. Bye bye!